Okay guys, so here's the video for what we've been doing in class with equivalent fractions. So I started the kids off really slow with this, and we talked about looking at a number line, looking at fraction bars, and then we looked at pie graphs to see what different shadings were equivalent. And then we moved into this where they had 2/3 equals, and one of these would be blank. So let's say 9 here, okay? And then they should still have this worksheet, and it had arrows that went like this, and then it had times, and it had a box. Now, why? Because whatever you do to one of your two, either your numerator, which is your top number, or your denominator, which is your bottom number, you have to do to the other. So whatever you do to one, you have to do to the other. That's the rule. So what I asked them was, what times 3 gives me 9? And they said 3. And I said, okay, so we're going to put the 3 in this box. Well, whatever I put in this box, I have to also put in this box. So now, what's 2 times 3? The answer is 6. So 2/3 equals 6/9. Now, another one would be, let's see. It looked like this. Okay, same thing. And like I said, they have a worksheet that we did this with to kind of do it step by step. So I said, what 3 times what gives me 18? And they told me 6. So we put a 6 in the box. Well, whatever goes in this box has to go in this box. I made that box a little small. So now what's 7 times 6? So the answer is 42. If you can't already tell, their multiplication facts are super important. That's why we did them at the very beginning of the year. They really need to be studying those multiplication charts that I made them make every night. That way, they're getting used to this. They don't have to keep referring back to them. A lot of them got them out and used them in class, which is great, but they've got to be able to do it without the charts in front of them. They've got to just be able to spit out these facts. All right, so then the problem that I saw on their homework sheet was they didn't have any of this. I told them they could draw the little arrows in the boxes, but one thing that their homework sheet did that this sheet didn't is they made them work both directions. And that really threw some of them for a loop. So let's say we had 4/5 equals 20 over something, and it just looked like this. They had to figure out, and so I told them, you know, you can draw your arrows in if you want to with the box, if that helps. You'll see on the key that I sent you, I just did it right here. So basically the same thing, I just didn't draw the arrows. So 4 times what gives me 20? 4 times 5. All right, so whatever goes here has to go down here. So 5 times 5 is 25. So they were okay with those. They drew in their own, some of them didn't. It didn't really matter. But the part that got them was when it went the opposite direction. So let's say we have 3 over something equals 21 over 28. So what I told them was, here you can look at it the same way. You can say, what times 3 gives me 21? And you have to do the same thing down here. Now, what I also told them as I was walking around and helping them individually was, this is like division. But here's where the problem comes in. If we don't know our multiplication tables well enough, then we can't use division in this case. So if you look at this, what times 3 gives me 21? Well, 7. So whatever's down here, when I multiply it by 7, because whatever goes here, I have to get 28. So what times 7 gives me 28? And the correct answer would be 4. So that caused some problems. I did try to show them that you could just say, like, 21 divided by what gives me 3, and then 28 divided by that, and that would give you your new number. But our multiplication understanding is not good enough for that yet, so we've got to work on the whole multiplication. And then one other thing that I noticed was if they started like this, and it looked like this. This really threw some of them for a loop. And I told them, you're doing the same thing we did here. You're just going the opposite direction. So what times 6 gives me 24? Well, 6 times 4 gives me 24. So whatever's down here times 4 has to give me 32. Well, what times 4 gives me 32? 8. So you're doing the same thing. It's just you're going the opposite direction. That really, some of the kids were just like, wait, what? You literally are doing the same thing. The arrows just go the opposite direction. So I hope this helps. This is how we were looking at it on Thursday, trying to get them just used to looking at those factors. I will show you another way, and I'm going to show them this way on Tuesday, but I'll go ahead and show you this way as well. I'm going to use this one. So let's go back to the 24 over 32 equals 6 over something. What you can do is you can break these down into their factors. So I know, but again, this is where division comes in. So I'm going to look right here and I'm going to say, okay, what, if anything, can I break 24 down into that includes 6? Well, 24 breaks down to 6 times 4. Well, I know that 6 does not go into 32. So 6 is not going to be one of my factors. So what else can I break 32 down into that is common with 6 and 4? Well, it breaks down to 8 times 4. What do they have in common? They have the 4 in common. So right here is your answer. So it would be 6 over 8. So you're canceling out what they have in common. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. We're going to look at it that way on Tuesday and see if that helps at all, so you kind of know what's coming. I'm also going to just have them reducing fractions to try to help with the multiplication aspect. So like if I have 4 over 12, I want to break 4 over 12 down as small as possible. So what are my factors that they have in common? I know that 4 goes into 12. So I'm going to say this is 4 times 1. And then 12 is 4 times 3. So now we mark out whatever they have in common, which in this case is a 4. And whatever's left is your answer. So 4 over 12 is the same thing as 1/3. And that would be your reduced fraction. So we're going to do that a little bit to try to work on our multiplication facts. But multiplication is very important when we're coming to equivalent fractions. And if they don't understand equivalent fractions, then when we move into adding and subtracting fractions with uncommon denominators, they're really going to struggle because they're going to need to know these facts. So I hope this helps a little bit. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. And I will be more than happy to make any more of these videos that y'all might want when it comes to the math. If you need help with the math, and anything else for that matter. So I hope y'all have had a blessed weekend, and I look forward to seeing all you guys on Tuesday.